What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. So back in the old YouTube days, we used to just film ourselves training, film days in the lives, vlogs. It was great. It was a great period of time. Then things got really crazy. People started editing. US Strength Project coming around, and they were doing these funky, fresh edits. That was the thing. But now it's kind of come back, where you kind of got this raw, people want to see real people. And that's where this Sam Sulek kid comes in, man. I mean, look, man, he gets a lot of love. He gets a lot of hate. I love the guy. And people are like, oh, well, the drugs. I'm like, he never talks about it. It's not his thing. He's not a drug channel. He's just a kid. He turns on a camera. He talks about training. He talks about eating, films his life, and goes on with it and just does his thing. Seems like he just keeps to himself, does his thing, loves the lifestyle, loves bodybuilding, living his dream. I'll put it this way. Back when I was a kid, you know, you look at professional athletes and people you looked up to. We didn't have social media, right? You had these pro athletes always getting in trouble, getting arrested. Remember the 1990s, University of Miami, the Hurricanes, the U. You know, half those guys were arrested for something by the end of the season, multiple DUIs, beating their girlfriends, you name it. Now these kids are watching people like Sam Sulek. What does he teach you? Oh, well, train hard, eat right, and follow your goals. I believe he's still in college. And then you got someone like a Bo Bassett. If you guys follow wrestling, a high school wrestler, he's a senior, he's undefeated, just signed a huge NIL deal, I think $5 million with Iowa. And I mean, what's he known for? These 5 a.m. machine gun workouts where he's literally, you have kids across the nation, instead of going to parties, getting drunk, they're going to bed early, waking up at 4:30 a.m. so they could train at 5 a.m., go to school all day, and then train for wrestling after school. I think it's great. I love this kid. I love Sam Sulek. I love the Bo Bassetts. I love it. I love it. Look, man, whether you agree with him or not, you think he's healthy or not, whatever it is, look, man, he's manifesting his dream, and I love it. So the one thing I want to point out, and I'm going to go Nick Strength and Power, going to credit him for this video. He put great footage up of it. If you want to hear his take, go to Nick Strength and Power's channel. Again, he did a great job kind of showing this. So I'm going to go over my thoughts on Sam Sulek's, competing. Now, as an IFBB pro and someone who's judged over 50 bodybuilding shows, I can say, look, I have a decent eye for this. And the one thing I don't like is the haters, and here's why. Sam Sulek never stood on his channel and said, I'm going to be a pro next year. He never said, I'm going to be the greatest bodybuilder who ever lived. He never said, I'm going to crush everybody. He never said, I'm the next Chris Bumstead. He never said, I'm the most shredded muscular man in the world. No, he just filmed. He's like, oh, I'm training. Oh, I'm posing. I'm doing my thing. It's other people who put these unrealistic expectations on a young guy in his early 20s who hasn't even done a show yet. And I believe he coached himself, so much props to that. And I want to go over how I think he looks. Now, first of all, regardless of how he looks, my first bodybuilding show, I believe I was like 27 years old, and I won my class. You want to know how I won my class? There was no one else in my class. That's how I won my show. So your first show, you're getting your feet wet. You don't really, even if you know how to pose, until you actually do it on stage, it is so much different than practicing in front of your mirror. It just is. So first show, just getting on stage, epic win. Coming in shape, he was definitely in shape, epic win. Not messing up your peak by doing stupid, risky things, definitely a huge win. So I'm gonna play this video and let's take a gander at it. So this isn't the best shot. We get a better shot later, but look at that, boom. Great shot, huge arms. Doing a decent job on this pose, displaying it. He could be leaner. I know he was shredded, but his glutes aren't in. Who cares? We just started judging. Glutes weren't a thing when I started competing. They weren't a thing. It was in the 2010s when everybody needed glutes. He looks fantastic. Great classic physique. Again, lower body could use a little more conditioning, but shut up. Shut up, Marc. Don't say that. Look at his upper body, chest fullness, shoulders, delts, triceps. Everything looks really good in that shot. Transitions, boom. Hits a side chest on the other side, hitting it decently. Great chest. You know, he could actually work on the front pec you flex that one as well, even when you're twisting. Again, these are all things that come with experience. Very full shot. He's twisting it right. Shoulders elevated. Looks really good. Hops to the back. I believe this is free posing. Christmas tree. First show coming in looking like it's December again. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, hell yeah, Sam. Let's friggin' go. Bring in that Christmas tree. Absolutely love it. Coming in. Awesome. So everybody's like, it was hard hitting weight, this and that. If I were him, if you want those glutes out, Sam, again, not necessary. You got to lose like 5 or 10 more pounds, and it's going to suck even worse. I've been there. Look, man, shredded glutes are kind of my thing. Yeah, dude, it sucks getting down there. But here's what I've noticed, and let me just give this advice, Sam, if you watch this, which you probably won't. Seems like he just does this thing, doesn't care about anybody else. Every prep, you can go further. So you're not going to really realize your prep potential till 5 or 6 shows in. And even then, you're still learning. So the goal of each prep is to take it further and further, get leaner and leaner. I didn't have shredded glutes till my 2nd year competing, and that was after probably 6 or 7 shows. Comes in there, again, hitting it decently. Christmas tree's great. I mean, he looks good. Maybe a little more width in the back, a little more thickness. Okay, whatever. Looks great. Looks fantastic. Especially, I mean, let's also realize he's young and this is his first show. I mean, everybody's like, he's going to win the Olympia this year. I'm like, you got to realize like the difference between amateur and pro. And then there's a difference between pro like me and then like Kareth Bajo. And there's a level like Keon. And there's a level, you know, like, then you go Samson and Hadi and all these guys. There's levels to this ish, man. Beautiful. Love it. Again, it's hard. I mean, the only thing you can really tell, look, man, and everybody looks good in gym lighting after a pump. To look this good on stage. Yeah. I mean, Kenny KO did a video about how Instagram versus real life. That's everybody. That's me. That's everybody. Even if you're not editing it, that's what happens. It's just life. It's just the way the stage lights hit you in the tan. That vacuum is gorgeous. Let's go. Big full arms. Lat spread is the hardest pose to hit. He hit it pretty good. It could be better, but he hit it pretty damn good. Front lat spread is the hardest pose to hit. From most people I talk to, most pros will say to learn the front lat spread is tough. It's just a very awkward pose. Very good, Sam. Very good. Comparisons. I mean, well, look at homie on my left, right? Look at the dude in the glasses. He's not big, but man, that guy is shredded. Wow. I mean, look, man, at these kind of shows, you're not going to have the greatest competition. It's not a pro qualifier. The difference between an amateur show where you can just walk on and a pro qualifier is someone who has done this a long time, has done probably 50, I don't even know, amateur shows and turned pro when I was 72 years old. When you start going to like North Americans and you start going to like USAs, that's when you're like, holy crap, everybody looks amazing. Like, I always tell a story about like the dude I beat in the overall, his name's Paul. He ended up turning pro in the North Americans that year and just looks phenomenal bodybuilder. So we got on stage and Jose Raymond was like, you're gonna win your class and you're gonna win the overall because super heavyweights never come in shape. And I'm like, oh, all right, that sounds nice. So I went on stage and I knew I won my class. I knew it. I knew it. I just looked better. And then I'm walking off stage and I see this guy. Paul had 50 pounds on me at around the same height. And I remember I walked off stage and I was like, damn it. Second place again. But luckily for me, they judge symmetry and shape and conditioning. Although I think he was equal to me in conditioning, but I just think my body flowed a little better. For once, God and genetics were on my side. Yeah, I mean, he destroys everyone in this pose. He's bigger than the dude on the far left who might be more conditioned. His legs are more conditioned, a lot more size on that guy. The other guys are just not conditioned. They don't have the shape. They don't have the vacuum. Not as classic looking. This is a great photo. You can see in this picture with the lighting correction how much better he looks, how better his legs are. Great quad sweep. Medial quad is great. I mean, he looks fantastic. The little guy is shredded. He's shredded. I mean, you can see every rib in that guy's body. Like, that guy's an anatomy chart, but Sam wins. Bigger arms, fuller muscles, bigger everything. Great waist, great lines. Again, I could use a little more conditioning if I'm nitpicking. But again, to come like this in your first show is just astounding. Here's another look. Yeah, it's after he wins. Yeah, he looks great. Like, he looks absolutely fantastic. I think Nick's just going through stuff again. Oh, here's his posing routine. Actually, here's better lighting right here, guys. Yeah, I mean that's a little grainy, kind of reminiscent to how everybody thinks people in the 90s look better, when in reality they just had better, a little less detailed cameras. Yeah, I mean, if you look at, nitpicking, and this is, the lighting's crap, but like, we can get better. Like, this is a phenomenal showing, but yeah, I mean, we can get better. There's a lot of room for growth. Good news is the kid's like 12 years old. He'll be great. Look at that. That is his shot. That is his shot. That side tricep shot. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on, side tricep. I might just give up on it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. If I'm him, I'm hitting this side tricep as often as I can. Look how pretty, look how friggin' pretty that side tricep is. Man, that looks so good. Again, decent lat spread. I mean, I'm really happy for the kid. There he is. Really happy for him. I mean, so now that we've gone over the actual like presentation, let's just talk about the situation. So, I mean, honestly, he's kind of the victim of his own success, right? Everybody's putting these unrealistic expectations because, at the end of the day, people see Instagram, people see, like, they don't see you next to people, right? And that's why it was a huge risk of him to compete. I know a lot of, like, Jesse James West, I believe it was, he competed and he didn't look very good. And so people were just crapping on him. I don't think that's cool, but it is what it is. You put yourself out there and that happens. So getting on stage is a risk because you're putting your entire reputation, you're putting everything on the line. And if you don't deliver, like, look at Greg Doucette going at Mike Israetel and his tan, right? Like, Mike Israetel, competes every year. He doesn't come in great shape. And so that makes him vulnerable. Where if Mike Israetel simply just did his science stuff and didn't compete, that's why I respect the hell out of Mike Israetel for making himself vulnerable and getting out there and competing. And because when you miss and you're literally the guy who craps on everybody else's training methodology and critiques diets, that's an issue. People are like, why am I going to listen to this guy when he can't even bring himself into shape? You know what I mean? But that's not what it is. Everybody's different. And he has such a vast knowledge of science. But again, like, bringing yourself in or even coming into a show, there's so many variables in place. I think Sam's got a bright future in the sport. Whether he's going to go and win the Olympia, win the Arnold, I don't know. Does he have the potential? He has phenomenal shape. He really does. But I mean, it's a learning process. I'd like to see him get some more shows under his belt. I'd like to see him, because Arnold Amateur, I was reading some comments by Ron Harris. I competed at the Arnold Amateur, I believe in 2009. I got 13th, and man, these guys come in. I remember these Arab guys from the Arab countries, right? And I'm backstage and I'm like, what is that? So people look at that as like the World Cup of bodybuilding. So, I mean, you have pros from other organizations, other federations competing in this. So you're going up against some people who've already got a pro card, way more seasoned, way more conditioned. I mean, so he has, I believe, 2 weeks to bring in better conditioning, which he can get much better. I mean, bring in that lower body, tighten it up, get those hamstrings in, get those glutes in, suffer a little bit more, and see where it falls. Would he be able to compete against top, average, or even low-level pros? At this point, probably not. But you know what? He's young. So my recommendation is, Sam, keep doing what you're doing. Phenomenal. Love it. Love how you love the sport. You're respected by a lot of other pro bodybuilders. We've talked about you. Actually, later this week, we have a podcast with Kareth Bajo, who's going to be on. And we talked about Sam a little bit. We just love people who love the sport. You know, I love bodybuilding. I'm about that life. Thank you, Chris Jones, for this shirt. And anybody who has a passion for it and lives it and promotes it and brings more people into this world, I'm a huge fan of. So guys, shout out to Sam Sulek. Shout out to just the sport. Anybody could bring more eyes to this beautiful sport and bring more eyes to the art of bodybuilding. I'm not going to say the sport of bodybuilding, but the art of bodybuilding. Much love. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video, click on the notification bell. And if you have the chance, go to tigerfitness.com. That's tigerfitness.com. Save 10% on everything at the site with coupon code MAHA. M-A-H-A, MAHA. Get you 10% off everything on the site. Greatly appreciate it. God bless everyone. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Marc Lobliner, and that's not. Are you currently taking LMNT for your electrolytes? That's great. Electrolytes are very important, especially for athletes. The problem is I think they took it a little too far. 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet. That's great if you're an endurance athlete running in high temperatures, 100 plus. But if you're not perspiring that much, if you're not doing that much activity, if you're simply exercising, well, normally, it's a lot. You're looking at intake, you take a few packets, 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So what I like to do is I like to flavor all my water with electrolytes, because electrolytes are vitally important for you to intake. Now, what do? I take Ambrosia Hydroglyph. So Ambrosia Hydroglyph, available in stick packs as well as bags. Now, it's beyond sodium, potassium, magnesium. It has other things that'll help your body keep muscle and perform better. It has the essential amino acids. It has your branched chain amino acids. It has Velocitol, which doubles the power of those amino acids. It even has my HMB. So if you're really training hard, it staves off muscle loss. If you're looking for something well beyond the current electrolyte you're taking, something that won't overdo it, but give you everything needed to perform at your best and be as healthy as possible, Ambrosia Hydroglyph is your choice.